Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer 40,000 INDOMITUS box set Bladeguard Ancient unit from Games Workshop. Now currently the only way to pick him up is in the INDOMITUS box set, which will set you back £125. I don't think it's available anymore, but hopefully Games Workshop will release this model separately, or maybe even create a new model, who knows. But it's a really cool looking model. I really like him. What we'll do is we'll look at his detail up close. We'll compare him to a number of other models, both in the box set, both from the new Primaris selection and the new Necron selection. And then we'll go through all of his rules, and we'll actually compare him to a Primaris Ancient, because this is a brand new unit that Games Workshop have just pulled out of nowhere to assist the Bladeguard veterans. So without further ado, let's have a little look at him up close. Lovely miniature. I like the sort of skeleton minus the shins and the feet. Pretty much everything's intact, and it's quite an odd one because it looks like it's bionic as well. It's got like a faceplate and I'd say a red eye, and he's got a bit of a bionic, and he's got some kind of chain there. He's missing a left hand, but he's got everything else in place, like a pelvis and a spine. And you know, I thought I'd just draw your attention to that skeleton that he's holding up on a pole. A load of purity seals dotted about, even more so on this little extra shield thing. He's got a really pronounced gorget, I want to call it, and a little iron halo, even though he doesn't have an iron halo. A nice looking helmet, and yeah, a load of robes and keys. He's holding what looks to be, I would probably guess that it's the skeleton's left hand. That would be the guess there, on a chain. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's odd, but yeah. Looking at the rear, there's a little skull there, and then he's got this big. I think it would be an Absolver bolt pistol, I think, or a heavy bolt pistol. And yeah, and that's about it. Not an awful lot more going on in the back of the ancient pole banner thing, and then he's got this big spiky crest on the top as well. And yeah, that's about it for him. He's got a belt buckle, and yeah, I mean, it's an alright looking model. I think they tried to do like a Sisters of Battle Imagifier, but for Space Marines. I don't know whether we needed it. I don't know whether it would be cool, because he's a Bladeguard Ancient, to have an actual, like, I don't know, blade on him maybe, or even one of the storm shields. But yeah, he looks a little bit out of place, but I guess if you colour him with the Bladeguard, then that's fine. It's just nice that we get an Ancient model. I think we did have an Ancient model in, you know, the Dark Imperium box set, so it's good that we've got another one. And yeah, I guess they needed kind of like a banner bearer type thing going on for Primaris. There aren't many at all. You know, there's only that one in the Dark Imperium set, and then this one. Oh yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, here's the Ancient. Look, massive banner thing, and he's on the same size base, and I probably will paint him the same. He's obviously not painted at all, but yeah, that's, I think, the look that they were kind of going for. But there we go, I thought I'd just compare him to him. And speaking of which, let's have a look at some comparisons with the other models. So the first one I want to draw your comparison to is the Captain. Captain is taller, just because of that scenic base. But yeah, the model is the tallest out of the Space Marine models because of the banner. Then I want to compare him to actual Bladeguard veterans themselves. He's going to look a bit taller with them because of that pose, but he will work nonetheless. He's missing his right shoulder pauldron as well. Maybe him and the Judicia were just late getting to the armory that day, and they missed out on the right shoulder pauldrons because the other units picked them up first. They were, you know, early bird catches the shoulder pauldron and all that. But anyway, there's the Bladeguard veteran, and then the Judicia. I don't want to do too many size comparisons because they are all actually very similar sized. But compared to the Judicia, he's, yeah, similar size. And then compared to you know, the Necron model, so I've got a warrior here. He's going to dwarf a warrior. Warrior's pretty small compared to the Ancient. But then if you compare like the Overlord, it's a lot taller. And then the Skorpek, we don't even need to do this comparison, but yeah, Skorpek Lord is much taller. So yeah, he's one of the tallest Space Marine models in this set, I guess. Comparing him to the you know, the usual suspects, the usual 3 suspects, the good, the bad and the ugly, I'll let you decide which is which. But you've got here the Ancient compared to normal Space Marine. Normal Space Marine, Legacy Space Marine is barely up to the chest plate. Definitely looks really quite tiny next to them. And then Sly Marbo is, I'd say, yeah, almost up to the chest plate again. And then finally another Primaris, you'll be pleased to know, is just a little bit shorter, and again because he's got his foot on the bit of the scenic base there. So he's going to look right at home with normal Primaris, especially if they're in this upright pose rather than legs braced apart. He's going to work wonders just as a showcase model, really, as a collector, from a collector's point of view, having him amongst like 10 Primaris or 5 Primaris as like a little, you know, Ancient leader thing. But there we go. I hope those size comparisons have helped. What I'll do now is I'll just go through all of the rules for the Bladeguard Ancient. So you find them in the Edge of Silence supplement book that's included in the Indomitus box set. He is an elite choice. He's a power points cost of a 5. I don't know what his match play points cost will be. That'll probably be in the codex in October. But he is an elite choice, much like the Bladeguard Veteran Squad. His stat line reads his movement is 6 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 3+. Even though he comes from the Bladeguard, that stat line is markedly different. You know, he's got 2 extra wounds there, he's got 1 extra attack, and his leadership is better. So that's kind of what you'd expect for, you know, someone that's been in the Bladeguard and then now an Ancient. He's equipped with a heavy bolt pistol, frag grenades and crack grenades. So although he's got one attack more than a normal Bladeguard Veteran Squad, he doesn't actually have like a power sword or anything to put it to good use, which, yeah, is very sad. The heavy bolt pistol, which is what the other Bladeguard veterans have, is a range 18-inch, pistol 1, strength 4, AP -1 and a damage of 1. Frag grenades and crack grenades work as usual, and that's pretty much it for him. He's got some abilities, which is Angels of Death, and then Astartes, Banner, Aura. Now this is the main reason you'd pick him for your force, is because of this Aura effect. He's going to buff your units. So he's got an Astartes Banner. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of models in friendly chapter units whilst their unit is within 6 inches of this model. That's a bonus already, so now most of your squads are leadership 8 or leadership 9. In addition, roll 1d6 each time a model in such a unit, excluding vehicle, beast and wolfen models, is destroyed by an attack made by an enemy model. On a 4+, do not remove the destroyed model from the battlefield. It can, after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, either shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were your shooting phase, or make 1 attack with one of its melee weapons as if it were the fight phase. After resolving these attacks, the destroyed model is then removed. So it's kind of like a feel no pain, disgustingly resilient kind of, you know, you've got a 50-50 chance there of just firing off 1 more shot or swiping the blade or something and then it's removed. So a little bit like the Hospitaller, but instead of you repairing a wound, one of the models is getting 1 final attack at the enemy. And then the other ability is Deeds of Heroism, Aura. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly chapter Bladeguard models whilst their unit is within 6 inches of this model. That is the kicker there. That is a reason why you'll pick him and you'll put him next to your Bladeguard squad, because you add 1 to the hit rolls. You know, they've got a number of attacks there. You're looking at a minimum of 10 attacks. Their weapon skill is only 3+, even though they're a veteran squad, which is a bit strange. But having 3+s on 10 attacks, yeah, you may only get like 5 or 4 that hit home, but adding the 1 to the hit rolls will really help them out. It's pretty much giving them a 2+ to hit, which we all know is greatly beneficial, and that's the reason why you get him, just to get that extra 1 to the hit rolls, because he's not the Judicia in close combat and he doesn't have a Neo-Volkite of the Lieutenant. So the main reason is to buff the leadership. On a 4+, get your killed units an extra attack or shot, and to buff the Bladeguard Veteran Squad. Its keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Infantry, Character, Primaris, Bladeguard and Bladeguard Ancient. Big upgrade compared to the Primaris Ancient that was in the Space Marine Codex before. His stat line is better in all aspects. He's even better than the Company Ancient as well. Both the Primaris Ancient and a Company Ancient have that Astartes banner, which have exactly the same rule as this one, but he's now got the Deeds of Heroism because he's that Bladeguard Ancient. So he's like a normal Primaris Ancient, but he's got a better leadership, and he'll buff your Bladeguard veteran squad as well for 1 extra power point. He's a little bit pricier than the Primaris Ancient of before. So there's the main differences. So in summary, really cool looking miniature. I really like him. He's a character, so he's definitely one to look out for on your opponent's army and try and take down as quick as possible, because yeah, you don't want those Bladeguard veterans to be getting the buff, or any of your units coming back from the dead, so to speak, or just, you know, the leadership aura that it gives off to other Primaris Space Marines. So try and take him down as soon as possible, and that will actually weaken the rest of the force. That's my little sort of strategy there. If you can get to him, that is. He's probably going to be protected by the Judicia or the Lieutenant even. What do you guys think of the model and the rules? Do you think that he should have been given an actual blade because he's a Bladeguard veteran, or is he just protected by the Emperor himself? Who knows? Put it in the comments down below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.